I'm sure we went live. Wait a minute. Wait. We forgot something. Wait.
Good evening, all you minties, and welcome back to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda, and my lovely co-host, the Uncanny Omar.
Yes, I hope everybody is here this time. Round two. This is round two.
We started this first and realized we weren't actually live, so I got to do a quick rehearsal of my intro. So I think it was much better on this go around.
I think the first time was a lot better because it was genuine. The second time, you were trying a little too hard.
Too hard. Yes.
How's everybody doing?
Yes.
So today we're going to be talking about a follow-up to a
1988
classic movie for me. Please don't bring up ages tonight. Can we just have a positive?
It is positive because it's one of my favorite movies that I love to quote, mainly just this one part.
You just like quoting the goat, and that doesn't count.
Yes, when Razia becomes a goat, when she actually turns into a goat, that is hilarious. Willow. Okay, sorry.
You're gonna become the goats in Love and Thunder. Remember how often that made you laugh?
Much better goat. Anyway.
1988. That's right. That's when this movie came out. I went to see it with my brother. There were Happy Meal toys. There was a video game.
Yeah.
There was an actual toy line. We were just so excited to see a fantasy movie. This was directed by Ron Howard.
He's an executive producer. Yeah, well, he's an executive producer on the show as well. Oh, okay. And as far as I know, they used James Newton Howard's score, but I don't believe he's the full-time composer for the actual. He may be for the TV show itself, but the score does run through some of the in the TV series as well, or the 2 episodes that we've seen.
Now, here's something I don't know that I know the amazing Amanda will know.
Oh, no. Why you put me on the spot like that?
Because you're good at this. Get ready for trivia. All right. So, was Willow based on a novel or is it an original screenplay? This is not a trick question. I really want to know.
I'm sorry, James Horner was the composer.
He's the one. He passed away. Oh my goodness. Actually,
okay. So then James Newton Howard is the one who's doing the new composer for the series, which also a great composer. Mm-hmm. Is it? That is a great question.
It is a good question.
I do not.
Oh, I was always curious because I know there were novels.
No, I would want to say that it's probably an adaptation.
Okay.
I chat no, because I don't know actually off the top of my head.
And obviously, this is an original story based on the works of these characters. Let's see. Matt is saying he still has the original novelization.
Okay. So is that based off the movie or before the movie came out?
I would assume based off the movie. Keep in mind, Claremont also wrote stories about Willow, like future Willow.
Yeah.
That's kind of the things we're seeing right now.
I believe it might actually be a original story.
Okay.
That maybe they did a novelization for.
Because, there were a lot of things at the time that were coming out. And
yes.
Some of them were original and some of them were based on books like Never Ending Story and things like that. So yeah, I was always curious what it was, but all right, now that I know.
It was originally conceived from George Lucas's mind.
Oh, okay. Like Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
You can kind of see that, yeah.
And Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck, yeah. I definitely see a lot of Howard the Duck influences in here. Or in the original movie. Anyways, yes. So we're going to be talking about the TV series, which just premiered on Disney Plus today, the first 2 episodes. Other critics actually got the first 7 episodes. We are not those special critics.
That is so weird. Okay.
Yeah, which is only one less than the total length of the series or the season. It's an 8-episode season.
Mm-hmm.
They got the first 7, so why give them all 7 and hold off on the finale? Is a very interesting thing to mention. Now this isn't well, it's not a spoiler for the first 2 episodes, but during the press junket, the creator of the show, the creator of the TV series, his name is Jonathan. Jonathan Kasdan, who also was one of the lead writers on the series and was the writer for a Star Wars story as well, or Solo, a Star Wars story. Him and several other cast members talked about Val Kilmer if he was going to reprise his role as Madmartigan. Originally, they said that he was on board to reprise the role. They wanted him to. They did approach him about it, and they had written so that he could, but when COVID happened, and then there were some scheduling issues because of COVID, he had decided that he wouldn't be able to come out and film. So I don't know how the rest of the season plays out, but so far we do not see Madmartigan, just a consistent mentioning of Madmartigan in the first 2 episodes. So whether or not Val Kilmer is able to reprise his role is yet to be seen as of this time.
As of the first 2 episodes. Okay, so Willow episodes. Well, I'm just going to put up spoilers tags.
Yes. Yes, we're going to talk about the first 2 episodes, which is The Gales, episode 1, and The High Aldwin, which is episode 2. So we will be talking about spoilers with those. And Omar, let's talk about the first 2 episodes. I mean, where are we sitting right now?
I'm sitting in my basement.
Yeah, you're in your basement. I'm in my basement too, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but where are our characters? Obviously, this takes place many years after the events, the ending of the original Willow movie.
I'm still having a hard time trying to understand the timeline here because you're not given like it's the year. We get a Lord of the Rings type of opening for this show. Which I kind of dug, I dig it. It's all narrated by what is her name? Sorsha, who is now Queen, and she talks about how Willow and Madmartigan and her teamed up to defeat her mother, save this little baby that was supposed to restore the universe or whatever in this world. But we're not given a specific timeline as to 20 years, 30 years ago, because it feels like, as far as the characters, they are well, like it's aged in real time. You can't hide the fact that a lot of time has passed since 1988. You're talking about 30. What is that? 30. My goodness, 30. Oh, what? 34, 30. Some like. Oh my God, is it? No.
No, they haven't aged in our real time because
34 years. Is that right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, 34 years. So 34 years has passed since 1988. But it doesn't feel like it when you're introducing new characters. For example, the character of Alora Danning is like 18, 17 maybe. She looks really young.
Yeah, she should be. Yeah. So spoiler alert. Yes, so it has to be somewhere between 16 to 18 years is my guess. Yes, we remember the Willow movie.
Of course we do, Matthew. Why would we be reviewing? Wasn't Willow the one with the guy with the stick and those weird little rocks?
Yeah. Bones? You mean the bones? Or you mean the rocks? It doesn't matter. There's a stick. He is the wand.
There's lots of sticks. There's lots of sticks.
There's lots of sticks. Yes.
So in this particular world now where everything is fine, Willow's living in his own world, in his own village again. Queen Sorsha is with her 2 kids. She has 2 kids now by Madmartigan.
Yes.
She has a daughter
named Kit.
Who's Kit Tanthalos, I think is what her name. And then her son, who is Eric. Sounds like Eric, but it's not spelled the same way.
No, and they're twins too, as well.
Yeah, so both of them. One of them, Kit, is like your warrior princess.
Yeah,
character, and Eric is like a
female character,
smooth, suave guy that's the second best swordsman in the land. Perhaps, I don't know. That's what he claims to be.
We haven't seen much of that yet, so we don't know, to be sure.
It wasn't that good if he was able to get his ass captured in the first episode, but but yeah, we see her dueling with her friend Jade, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And then he's making out with this kitchen girl. I think he
kitchen maid
Dove.
He called her Dove.
She didn't have a name.
Clarify. Yeah, they actually didn't mention her what she's. So, spoiler alert: the kitchen maid turns out to be someone very important to the lore of Willow. We find out at the end of episode 1. They do not hide the fact.
I didn't even catch that. I forgot about that. Eric was the name of the dude, the guy with the beard, the Golden Knight guy that got killed in the first movie.
Yeah.
So he's named after Madmartigan's knight friend. Thank you for that. Good catch, man.
Because Portia and Madmartigan did marry and have children, but Madmartigan disappeared when the children were very young. On a mission. We don't know where he is. So of course you have the twins dealing with their grief of losing their father or not knowing where he is and then wondering why he left them if he's not dead and he's still alive.
Well, so one can assume it's been a few years.
Yeah,
right?
Well,
because they're not like, hey, where's dad? It's like
no, yeah. Well, if you think about it, in that flashback in the second episode, in the beginning of the second episode, Willow has a flashback of him with Sorsha when he was when Elora Danan would have been probably like 5 or 6, maybe. And at that time, Madmartigan was gone. He had not returned from his mission, or he had just went off on his mission. So that if they're around the same age as Elora Danan, give or take, they're probably a year or 2 younger since she was already a baby when the events of Willow happened. She's probably a couple years older than they are. They have to be at least 4 or 5 when that happened, when he went off on his mission and disappeared, is my thought.
Oh yeah, but it seems like there's a lot of animosity between the Queen and Willow because she calls him a pig, like a little. She didn't call him a wizard because he claims to be a sorcerer, a great sorcerer, and she's like, "No, you're a brave little warrior, but all you can do is like make pigs disappear." It's like, damn, throwing shade, poor what the
help save the world.
We'll get to the actual writing here in a little bit, but yeah. So long story short, we have the princess, the warrior princess I was talking about earlier. She is to be married off to the guy that I can't stand in the Spider-Man movies,
Tony Revolori. Prince Graded. And he
gets on my nerves here too. So that guy, they're set to be married.
They're trying to unite their kingdoms. And what happened is, in the narration overview in the beginning, Sorsha tells us that after the events of Willow had a vision that the darkness would return, that the baby Elora is not safe. And so what they do is they hide her away. They say they hide her away, and they created a magical barrier that protects Sorsha's kingdom and these other kingdoms away from the rest of the world, so that they can live there in peace without the evil people coming in and attacking them. So that's what they've been doing for the past 16 years. And of course, the Nelwynds are on the other side of the barrier side of the barrier that no one else wants to be on. And they're kind of in their own hiding, right? And Willow's protecting his people because Sorsha believes that the barrier is the best way to protect Elora Danan, not letting her just learn how to be a powerful sorcerer, but
putting her in the kitchen
and letting her be an excellent cook. Does that mean that maybe baking is a source of her powers? We'll find out, because it sure seems like that's what I'm getting out of all of it, that where she's going to really become her powers will be known as her baking skills. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, and in the first episode, they have this nuptials or betrothal ceremony, and of course there's some tension between Kit and her knight in training friend Jade, and we come to understand why they're friends. There's also a brewing chemistry there. They obviously love each other more than just friends, and Jade gets a really awesome opportunity to go off and be the knight she's always wanted to be, And Kit, being a selfish little princess brat, is like, how dare you? And then decides to ruin the party and then embarrass Prince Graydon, her betrothed, who it's not his fault this is happening any more than it's her fault. But she just doesn't know how to be nice. Because that's how those characters are. Just don't know how to be nice to people and be in their feelings. And so at the same time, Saoirse's having like visions or can hear Willow, and
it's a little weird.
It's a little weird. And in the middle of the night, they are attacked. The castle's attacked, and Eric, trying to defend his kitchen maid lover who he wants to marry because he just feels something for her more than any other girl, even though he has a reputation for being a Casanova, if you will, even though that's not a thing in this universe. He gets taken, and the reason he gets taken is because him and his mother and his sister all have that blood of Maverta, right? Is that how you say Maverta? Wait, no. How you say her name? The evil
Badmorta?
Badmorta, yeah.
The evil queen from the first movie?
Yes, they all have her blood, right? Bloodline, right? They're all part of her bloodline. They could be used to maybe resurrect the crone and bring back the darkness and the evil. And so Eric has been captured, and she decides to send her daughter and a team of teenagers and a thief who used to actually be a squire to madmartigan, Borman, who is in jail for thieving, as is what happens to thieves. And they go on their merry little quest, and the kitchen maid follows them because she wants to help save her lover. And we come to realize that she's more special than it is, because when they finally meet Willow by the end of the episode, he reveals her mark that we remember the baby Elora Danan had in the Willow movie, and we find out that she's Willow, or she's Elora Danan.
She's Willow. Holy crap! This shows everywhere. Man, yeah. So that is the ending of episode 1. Willow comes out and he's like, "Hey, it's really me. For some reason, I made this guy pretend to be me." That was weird.
That was it.
So as Amanda was saying, the flashback of episode 2 is like we get to find out a little bit more about why both Willow and Saoirse are not talking to each other.
Yeah.
Where is Madmartigan? And then more about the new class, as I like to call this. This is like Willow and the new class.
Willow and Friends.
Which I feel like that is about the only way to do these kind of shows anymore. But I guess in a way it makes sense, because it's like you have to introduce new characters to new people. Young folks cannot connect with old people, I guess. Who knows?
Unless it's Tom Cruise, because everyone can connect with Tom Cruise.
Well, I mean, even in Top Gun, you have to throw in some new.
Yeah, the young blood.
Goose's kid. You know, I get it. We do it in every franchise. It's just, I don't know. Okay, so that's we forgot one little important part where, so we have these villains, right? Like these 4 type of like sorcerers, and we're not really sure what they are. I will say the practical effects on them look really cool, like the makeup and stuff mixed with, of course there's some CG, but when they came to invade the city to take Eric, they wounded, I thought it was what's her face's dad.
I believe it is the captain of the guard, right?
Yeah, Jade, right? Like her dad.
Yes, exactly. They did wound him, and we come to find out by the second episode that wound has the dark magic festered inside of him and takes over him, essentially. And so now he becomes a henchman, if you will, for the crone and her sorcerer henchman. And when Saoirse realizes that Elora decided to run off to follow the happy band of her children, or her child and all her little friends, she asks him, no questions asked, to go find her, because this girl's very special to me. And I don't know about you, but if the queen's asking to go find a kitchen maid and doesn't give you any details, I feel like that's a little suspicious.
This whole plan was suspicious.
Maid.
she's got an entire army, but she sends a bunch of teenagers with an old man, with like the oldest dude that you know is not gonna make it because he wasn't in any of the damn trailers.
No, he didn't barely last the first episodes.
Okay, so yeah, we go and party with Willow, and you see his daughter, not played by the original actress. That would have been really cool, but that's really the only family he has. His son's not there. Kaya's not there, his wife. No. And he has a little bit of a flashback. We don't know what's going on there, maybe, you know.
Yeah, and I think they're in hiding is what he said too. So they're not really in their, that's what he kind of mentioned when they were talking, when they were announcing to all of the rest of the Nellwins about her return. And he said, too long, we've been in hiding, or whatever he was saying. And I was like, oh, okay.
They've just been down there, like, waiting on,
Lord Dannon or something along those lines. And yeah, so he's trying to teach her magic. And, you know, the whole issue is Sorsha and him had a disagreement about this because she felt like she can just learn magic when she's ready. And he said if she doesn't learn it now, it'll become stifled. It'll be harder for her. And that's what we see, right? Alora is a love-struck teenager that is not the heroine that we all would assume she would be. The girl who's like Kit is what I would expect, what you would expect Alora Dannon to become. Oh, she's already like, she has all the skills. She's a fighter. She's this. But no, the savior of our story is going to be this love-struck teenager who only went along because she loves Eric so much and wants to save him. And all she wants is, she's like, I'm really good at baking, but I have no confidence. I don't know what you think I can do. And it's kind of refreshing. She's the opposite of what we usually see. I mean, I'm sure she will eventually become a strong heroine character. I'm sure that will happen. She will grow into her powers and all that stuff. I am assuming that will happen at some point. And maybe her and Prince Graydon will fall in love because there's a little bit of chemistry between the two of them later on in episode 2 where he talks about how special she is and how she can't see it. And, you know, there's that happening too. But it was quite refreshing that it wasn't Kit and it was a girl who doesn't seem to think that she could ever be the hero of the story. That was kind of refreshing.
Mary Sue. Mary Sue? Is that what they're called? Mary Sue, Gary Lou?
Mary Sue's, yes. Those female characters that they're like perfect in every way. And like, we didn't like, you know, yeah. And they write
kind of ditzy because she's kind of fallen for Eric, even though I don't know, that whole scene was kind of rushed though. So they could have known each other for a long time.
Well, she was a kitchen maid. I would assume they knew each other.
I just thought he was using her though. Like, you know, because he was already flirting with the other girls and she was getting jealous.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if he's genuine.
I doubt he
is. Why do I care? I feel like I'm watching 90210 again.
I don't know, but I doubt he is, and that's why her and Prince Graydon will end up hooking up because it's not like him and Kit want to be together anyway.
Quit shipping people.
I am already shipping it. It's done. I've already written the fan fiction.
just started today. All right. So it ends with her, of course, getting kidnapped because that's what happened. She gets kidnapped by the captain of the guard that was sent out after her.
Yes, but now the people have taken him, so he is now evil. He's not good.
Yeah. So,
and she does manage to finally, successfully, after the pep talk from Prince Graydon, she does.
All she needs is Prince King.
Yeah, she see him to tell her that she was special and that she needs to see it. She was able to make the tree sprout. We see it. She doesn't. I don't think she sees it, but we get to see it as the camera pans out after she's taken. You see it start to sprout up out of the soil. So she does have powers. So she's on her way, but now she's been kidnapped. So it kind of sets all that stuff back.
I did like that part. That part made me laugh. The watha, like whenever he's
that was a great, yeah, that was a really cute scene. And I like Boyd like, I think it's actually getting worse.
and her facial expressions. I thought that part genuinely made me laugh, and a lot of this made me, a little cringe, you know, because. I think my issue with this, was that it? Was that all that happened?
That's in episode 2, that's really all that's happened. Yeah.
So my biggest issue with the show is the writing. I think it's really bad. I don't want to compare it to the Rings of Power dialogue because that was pretty bad. But this is up there too. Like even the jokes that, oh my gosh, like I wish somebody had told me that I could be dying because I'm afraid of dying. Like that line.
Communal bathing? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Like, random thing.
There's some dialogue that just doesn't fit into this world. And it might be because I'm putting my nostalgia glasses on when I go back and watch Willow, but I can't remember if there was like 80s dialogue being forced into that.
No, there wasn't.
Into that movie.
Lucas tried to make it very, they didn't talk with a modern slang. They didn't. It was my reminiscent. And that's what I dislike. Something like, obviously, Lord of the Rings, they went for that high fantasy, very generic dialogue and got really convoluted. They're trying
to because they didn't have any source material.
Exactly. And this one, they tried to modernize some of the, the dialogue and things like that, which I didn't really care for. And we can talk about the fact that they use pop music at the end of every episode, which makes no sense. In Willow, was there pop music in the
No.
Okay, why? No. What's the point?
What?
Unless you're gonna do a whole reimagining, but don't keep it like anyway.
I almost got excited. I'm like, oh my god, are they gonna pull a Lady Hawk? Or what's that movie that you like that I think your generation liked that made no sense? Knight's Tale.
Okay.
The music. I just did. The music.
But it goes. But it's a theme. But with Knight's Tale's different.
But it didn't do it. It didn't do it throughout the whole. I thought they were going to, starting with episode 2. Like Lady Hawk has the same issue, right? They use that rock music in this fantasy world. Yeah, Lady Hawk with Matthew Broderick. You've never seen it?
Oh no, I
it's a fantasy movie like this, like Willow, except they actually use like rock music and stuff.
Okay.
Not existing, like they actually wrote music for it. This, I didn't even hear the pop music. I just assumed it was written like for the end.
I think they used old.
I was about to text you, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't care.
I think they used old classics from the 80s. I think that's what they did to kind
of. That music was not from the 80s.
Yeah, well, they
that was not reimagined. Remix is what they did.
No,
let's just call it what it is. That is not reimagined.
Let's see. I was trying to think.
Are you two really going to keep watching this debacle?
Well, yes. Will we do weekly recaps? Probably not, but we probably will at least give you guys our final season review. But I think my problem with the writing, and I think this is the problem with the writing in general, is a lot of it's very cliche fantasy writing. And I think the problem is if you go and look on IMDb, there's like 8 writers, which
that's too many.
That's too many. When you think about a great show, like I don't want to compare it to House of the Dragon, but they don't have 8
we
writers.
Just got finished watching Andor, which was
Andor, yeah. How many? And I had to look it up. How many writers did Andor have? Because I can't imagine.
Okay, and it's okay to have that many writers as long as you have
a vision.
Head writer, right? Like a head writer that is making everything blend together. Like, okay, this character is supposed to sound this way. To me, okay, I can see that because sometimes the dialogue didn't really fit the characters.
Yeah, but see, with Andor, they had 4 writers.
Okay, but and it's okay to have that many writers as long as you have a good. I assume they still call them head writers, right? Like somebody that is putting everything together, that making it sound like the actual voices of these characters. Which I feel like nobody was overseeing because there were moments that Sorcha was just blowing up to Willow, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That like escalated way too quickly. She was having an argument with Willow in her head long before Willow even entered with his pimp ass goatee in the castle.
That thing. I'm so glad I just have that thing. Yeah,
that's like UDH people. You give them goatees. So I agree with that. Yeah, I feel like that. There's a lot of cliche in here.
There's a lot of just cliche dialogue that you'd see in a and they don't. It's already there was a world built out, right? I mean, George Lucas and company built out a world with certain rules and lore that we could that then you can build dialogue around. And I feel like there's a lot of that missing, and they made it very generic. And maybe later on it won't be, but I don't feel that way because when you look at the writing credits, I mean, each person wrote like one episode except for the main the creator, Jonathan Kasdan, who wrote 3 of them. And I'm sure he's the head, as the creator, he's probably the final.
You mentioned something else that he wrote. What was it?
Solo, a Star Wars story.
Also did not like that, but I know that it people do have it's got a fan following rather.
Yes. So that was my biggest issue, was just the writing. And I think so as far as the actors are concerned, I do enjoy a lot of the actors in it. And I think they're doing a good job with what they're given. I really like the actor who plays Borman. I find him like a charming older version of Dev Patel for some reason. I don't know why, but I really do enjoy him. Clearly they're trying to make him the madmartigan of the series because he's, a little ruffian with quips and stuff. But again, because of the writing, he's not as funny as he could be.
Yeah, I was trying to understand that whole thing with him too, like how she's going to let him out. And I guess because they had a past together.
Well, yeah.
And then to go lead her kid, and these like that made no sense to me. This journey. Yeah, but you're right. I did like it's nice to see Warwick Davis back in the role.
Yeah.
Just like it was nice to see Mark Hamill back as Luke Skywalker. And I feel like that's kind of the route they're going with this character too.
Yeah, except he's not a grumpy old man. He still has that
trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, he still has hope in him. Though I'll tell you, when they in the episode 2, when he talks about his vision to his friend and everything, and you see him wake up on the battlefield and he has like a beard. He looked a little bit like Mark Hamill. I was like, oh God, this is giving me some like Mark Hamill in Star Wars. I was like, you're giving me some real Mark Hamill, cranky old Luke Skywalker vibes right now with this whole look he's got going on in that vision of the future when he wakes up on the battlefield. And in his vision, he finds Alora dead. And so he's trying to change that future. And that's why he wants to train her and all that. But yeah, it's interesting to see because, the first movie, what really made the movie itself, I think, work so well was not only obviously Val Kilmer, such an engaging presence, very funny, not bad to look at, but Warwick Davis was your bright-eyed young sorcerer in training, if you will, who's been thrust like Harry Potter, all these other fantasy stories, who's been thrust upon with doing something like some crazy adventure, right? The Joseph Campbell story of becoming a hero, and him and Val Kilmer's chemistry and all that stuff as just scene partners was so great. And I think that's what helped make that movie. And then, of course, the GOAT, Willow with Graziel.
We're just stupid, dude. I to this day I still crack up. I still crack up too. Help! There's a peck with an acorn pointing at me every time I watch that movie. I crack up.
Yes,
because there definitely was that chemistry between Val Kilmer and Warwick Davis. And
100%.
I was, the thing that I was really surprised is that none of the village folk came back. Now I know a few of them have passed away, like Migosh. He passed away a few years ago. Sadly, that was, I think that was suicide, if I'm not mistaken. The actor that portrayed him.
That's
and
awful.
Of course, Billy. He's been gone for a long time. Who was also Gwildor in Masters of the Universe.
Oh wow! Yeah.
But I really was hoping to see at least one or two of them make a return in this show, just because I know that some of them are still like Tony Cox is still alive. Tony Cox is everywhere. So is Tony Cox was, oh my gosh, what was his name? Vonkar or something like that. But the other guy, Phil That guy's been in everything too.
Yeah.
And he's still acting, so I'm surprised they didn't put him in the movie. And I wonder if now this is really interesting. Willow's daughter is played by Warwick Davis's real life daughter.
I could see that.
I didn't know that. Now I wonder if Kaya's still around, his wife.
No, from the movie.
Yeah, or if she decided to stop acting, maybe that's why they're not putting.
And it's hard to say why some of them didn't come back, except for Val Kilmer. That's kind of a fairly.
Do you think we'll see him?
I don't know. So when they said they left it open for season 2, I'm not so sure that he won't end up surprising us at season 1. But I'm going to go down with if they say they left it open for season 2, if there is a season 2, then they would bring in Val Kilmer at that point. Because now that we're past all the COVID issues and things like that, he probably would be able to film for them. I think that was the main issue of why he couldn't film with them. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they said. That's what they're saying in the interviews. Whether or not that's factual, right, is yet to be seen. So I haven't seen all 8 episodes. So my assumption is what they say they left over season 2. So if they're lying to us and he's in the season 1 finale, great. And if he's not, at least they said they've written the story to leave it open for season 2. Because from what we've heard so far, he's just gone. No one knows if he's dead or not. Maybe Borman does, because he said he found the armor of Chimeria, right? The Chimerian art that they were looking for. Mm-hmm. He found it. And that's all. He left it at that. So.
Well, and then Willow doesn't think he's dead too, right? Because he keeps saying that even death wouldn't stop him from seeing you. It would just slow him down. I like that line. That was good.
Yeah. I'm certain that maybe the crone or someone has him. That would make the most sense to me.
Yeah. So are they going to resurrect because they know that they kept saying our enemy.
Yes.
But Bev Morta died in the first movie. So
she's played by Joanne Marsh, right?
Jean Marsh.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And she's still.
Yeah, but she's got to be retired from acting, I assume. I don't know. She's up there.
Yeah. She's probably retired from acting.
I don't think I've seen her in anything. Like the mom in A Christmas Story. Retired from acting too. But I bet we see him in season 2. I'm going for season 1 finale. Mr. Vic thinks we might see Val Kilmer.
It's possible.
Yeah, I want to see if the return of some characters, besides some of his folks from the village, but also the trolls. You get to see trolls because he used trolls, and that 3-headed dragon that he made, that was his fault. The big one. Because honestly, the effects in Willow weren't the greatest. In the original.
I just hope. Yeah, and I wouldn't mind for them to kind of mix the practical effects from the original movie with CGI, but I hope if they bring some of those characters back, it's not like a full-on CGI character.
Well, what was it? The dogs when they were back.
The demon dog, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they were still using real dogs instead of CG. They very well could have used CG dogs, but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate, along the lines of practical effects and real versus CG. So they did film on location, and you can tell that. So
I did like that.
They did, and there were some beautiful visuals in that respect because they chose to film location and they weren't just behind green screens the whole time. So that did lend to a really beautiful atmosphere for the film. And I think that helped give it the Willow feel as far as the overall tone of the original film. It's just that, the writing was the weakest part of it.
You know what that's actually my oldest daughter tells me all the time. One of the things that she hates in both in novels and when we're watching shows is when they have to have characters be together with other characters. Yeah, it's like you hardly see a show anymore where the chemistry's there, but they just never do anything about it, or they just don't be with other characters.
Yeah.
And going back to this and then Rings of Power, I feel like a lot of the shows we do watch, there's characters that are written to be with other characters.
Yes.
And like we got that right off the bat here with two of the main characters, the
Kit and Jade.
Yeah, and also, well, Alora thinks so, but I don't know. It's just really weird. And I mean, what's the point right now? Like, why show that at the very beginning?
Well, what's funny is it's written, that stuff reminds me a lot of how very many like CW, like teen dramas are written.
That's what this reminds me
Everyone is gonna be with someone and that's what it I would have liked them to hold off. Like they did not shy away from, putting them together, or at least acknowledging that they have romantic feelings for each other by the beginning of the first episode, really after the events after what Kit did to at the ball or at the party, where she goes to Jay's room and they kiss. And so it's like, nope, we know they're together. And apparently everyone else has a feeling that they like each other too, because I think even Borman gave them some looks and comments.
Well, they were holding hands while they were sleeping, so that might draw some kind of attention.
Yeah. But yeah, there is definitely no stories where we just can't have characters just be friends or be like, it has to have a relationship. But like I said, that is various CW teen drama type.
Well, and then I feel like that has kind of spread out to shows like this, because it feels like we have to have characters together for the sake of having characters together. I mean, and I don't care if it's two girls together, two guys together, opposite sexes. I don't care. It's just having people together that kind of takes away a lot of the story. That was the whole cliche with sitcoms, right? Like, will they or won't they?
Yes.
We have two characters that are obviously attracted to each other, but it seems like for the sake of drawing the younger crowd in, and maybe maybe that's why they do it.
We gotta give them someone to shit.
I don't know. They immediately give you characters like that, like, oh, these characters are going to be together.
But Griffin X, you are right. They are cute together, though. I mean, they have great chemistry interacting, and that Erin Kellyman, apparently she must have signed a contract with Disney.
She was in the Winter Soldier, wasn't she? Or not Winter Soldier, Falcon.
She was the main villain of Winter Soldier. I was like, did they like sign a contract with this girl? Like, to be in a bunch of their crap? Is this like how they do it now with the older characters instead of all like the Disney Channel stars of yesteryear, like Selena Gomez and stuff? They sign them on and put them all Marvel franchises and the Willow franchises. And is she in Star Wars? I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to be in a Star Wars show.
Wow.
But it's going to make
about getting a hell of a contract. She was in Solo.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm telling you.
Well, and then the head writer was writing this, right? It's too early for this to be a criticism. We don't know how these characters. I mean, it's okay to criticize early on, though. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why we talk about it.
As far as the storylines, it's the writing that.
It's a dialogue, and it's
dialogue and the plot
that can be a problem.
I don't know if that's going to affect how the characters end up, but it will affect someone's enjoyment of the series.
Yeah, yes. I think a part of the problems with having shows like this is the ship culture draws a lot of people nowadays. Oh, I believe that. Absolutely.
Tumblr.
I think part of the problem with shows like this for me, and I'm sure a lot of people my age, is that, in our head, we kind of know where these characters would have gone, right? We know where their happy endings would be. And it wouldn't be where Luke Skywalker ended up, and it really isn't Willow fighting with his friends over something so
silly as.
Obviously, she's a special girl. We need to keep her safe, not keep her in the kitchen. The hell did that make any sense? But
I don't think Portia was thinking clearly. That's for sure. But I think she'll have come to see her wrongs. I hope they don't kill her off.
Saoirse?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, she's the only. Her and Willow already. Well, I don't know. They're gonna bring the brownies back.
That's what I think. They're exact. See if the brownies will return. I don't know. But
those guys, are they doing anything?
I
haven't seen Rick Overton. I think I mainly remember him from Groundhog Day. Ned Ryerson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they've been in lately. But they could easily grab those guys.
Yeah. I would say so too.
Were you surprised by the Alona reveal?
No. Reveal? Yeah.
Well, she was able to cross the path. So I was like, oh, obviously this girl is really special.
Yes, that kind of sealed it for me, was that whole part. After I rewatched the first episode, I rewatched both episodes, but when I rewatched it, I said, oh, okay. All right, I see. I wasn't necessarily surprised. I thought someone was going to be Laura. What I was surprised by is they revealed it at the end of the first episode. I thought we would go through like a whole first season.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
For the reveal at the end. You're right. It's probably better that we just go through her journey of learning. It remind me of, you didn't watch The Witcher season 1, but it reminded me of the characters that with the girl in Witcher and how she was special and she needed to be found and all that stuff. And yeah, it just has a little inkling of that story. And I guess that's what happens with fantasy stories. Everything kind of feels a little bit like the other fantasy story at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's okay to borrow elements from other stories. That's cool. Every fantasy writer, I'm sure, has done it. Music was pretty good, a little nostalgic whenever they threw in the James Horner bits in there. With Willow's theme and madmartigan's theme. Willow's theme has always been a beautiful thing to me, though. So whenever he's having the flashback of like the baby, I thought it was cool.
When he picks up the wand as well. That's when Willow theme plays as well. It's really cool.
I was still surprised it was her. I thought the show was going to be the search for her and had been real time since the movie. Thought she was going to be in her 30s. That's what I was confused about at the time, because this young lady looks at least like she's in her early 20s.
Yeah, Griffin X said I guess Saoirse said 200 moons. So when you kind of think about the moon cycle, a cycle of a moon.
In their world or our world?
We're going to go with it. They have similar moon cycles to us. Okay. I guess it would be about 16 or 18 years, something like that. So
damn, time was hard on my boy Willow and Saoirse.
Yeah, time was hard on both of them.
Wow.
Well, she lost her husband, went missing. That's probably contributed to a lot of her grief, which then grief and stress that ages you. And Willow's been in hiding, and he's been away from his friends because I
love that you're justifying how old they look.
That's how they look, so much older than they should really be. It just is what it is.
Woo! Okay. One thing I will say, earlier tonight, people commented on Facebook that they only watched a third or 3/4 of the episode, that it sucks.
Well, that's hard to say by only watching a third or 3/4.
Wait, if they only watch a third or 3/4, they get to see Willow actually show up at the end of the first episode.
Yes, I am still interested. It's called Willow, but I don't foresee him being the main character of the series.
Well, he wasn't in episode 1, and it seems like they focus more on the kids in episode 2.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like Laura and Kit, not Eric because he's out of the picture. And I think like Kit and Laura have the main storylines with, of course, Graydon and Jade supporting them, and Boorman has something going on. I'm not really quite sure, but I feel like Kit and Alora's storylines are the main storylines. So we'll see what kind of screen time Warwick Davis gets throughout the rest of the season.
I hope a lot, since the show is called
Willow. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll get a lot of time.
Let me see.
But more as a mentor.
Lighting was good. Settings were good. Practical effects were good, I thought. The sets, they had a little castle part. Like I had some
castles,
some set
actual
settings, and that was really beautiful when they were riding out on their horses.
Oh yeah,
that was really pretty. Yeah, I think my biggest issue is the writing, and the writing takes it down a lot because it's just so hokey and so cliche, and I maybe I'll pick up. Maybe I'll pick up, but for now, I'm just gonna say 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10 for you. I think for me, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 to start, but I'm hoping that it gets better as we move forward with this season. I'm excited to see where some of the characters turn up. Like I said, we talk about shipping culture. I am totally shipping Laura and Prince Graydon, so we'll see if that happens. Not Eric. I don't care about that kid. So he tells me he's going to turn out to be bad anyways. I just don't know. He looks too good not to become a bad guy.
He looks too good not to become a bad guy. What?
So he might become a bad guy. Will the Crone be defeated? No, I don't think that's going to happen. That's my prediction.
Not in the first season.
Not in the first season. If they want more than one season, I think the Crone will be wounded but not defeated, because thus is how these shows need to operate. So maybe one of her disciples or one of her henchmen that's a big bad will be defeated, but not her. Not yet.
Okay, so 7 out of 10 from you, 6.5 out of 10 from me.
Yep. James gave it a 7.5. Griffinix gave it 7 muffins out of 10. I am hungry for muffins now. I'm not gonna lie.
Because she makes a hell of a muffin.
I really want to know how good these muffins are. I'm really intrigued. Mr. Vic
Nostalgia 7. Nostalgia goes a long way, man. Like seriously.
Yeah. It really does.
As soon as I hear the tune and I start just having he's having the flashbacks and I'm like back in the movie theater watching this. A D question mark out of 10 because I have yet to watch it. Well, thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate that, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, it was overall, I mean, I'm gonna keep watching to see where it goes. And hopefully we can do a season end review, and our overall review will be more positive. But I'm not sure. Whose silk shirt makes him suspect? Are you talking about Prince Eric? See, I'm telling you, he's going to turn out to be bad. Or he's going to get overtaken by the Crone of something. I mean, the kid has the opportunity to, do something. Only person I hope is not bad is Boorman.
Willow.
And Willow would, I hope Willow's not bad. But Boorman, I really like Boorman. I like that actor. He's really cute.
The guy from Game of Thrones was in here too. He was the one that got possessed and took her.
Oh, who did he play? That's why I look familiar. Who is he?
He was, oh my gosh, he was in season 1.
Hold on. I'll look it up.
That was taking Arya with him, and him and his
Ralph Ineson.
Yeah, he was in season 1 of Game of Thrones. Matt says 7.5 out of 10. I guess I'm being a harsh reviewer. I said a 6.5 out of 10. But I'm just being honest. This is 34 years in the making, and what I ended up getting was some CW shipping and a little bit of Willow.
Yeah, I hope we get more into it's. Hey,
Warren, do you even like
Warren.
Willow, Warren?
But thank you for shout out from Eubank. I don't even know where Eubank, Kentucky is.
There's so many little hollers here in Kentucky.
I know.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
What were you looking up? Oh, the Game of Thrones character.
I was looking him up, to see what he was in Game of Thrones. But he's been in a lot. Good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's one of those actors who's in everything.
Yeah, like that kid from Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was in Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. He was the Hunter, which is a shame. That is such a great show that they should never have canceled.
Which one?
He played the Hunter in Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
I don't even want to talk about how broken I am about that. I've yet to see the final episode because that show was canceled.
Because what's the point, right?
Because what's the point? Nobody's picked it up.
Exactly. Dagmar Jaw. You know who should pick it up? Disney. Don't they own all the Henson stuff now?
Muppets.
Yeah.
They own Muppets. Dude, did you see that the ratings for Wednesday? I still don't know how the hell they do this. Was just it took down Stranger Things season 4.
Not surprised. It's very, very popular.
How? I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, yeah,
it's like Riverdale. Like in my mind, it was like Riverdale.
That reminds me of a CW show. Okay, so yeah, I forget that.
Which is a CW show. Riverdale is a CW.
There's a ton of young people out there that I'm sure appreciate it, and some older folks.
Oh, apparently it's blown up on TikTok. I watched all of it. She's really.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Yeah, she's cute in the role. It's good to see. This is like a mini Wednesday review now. It's good to see Christina Ricci back. Gwendolyn Christie is awesome as the dean of Nevermore, and I'm not going to tell you.
It was nice to see Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, playing Morticia or Tish. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, people had an issue with what's his name, Luis. What's his last name? I can't remember.
Gomez.
Yeah, playing Gomez.
Why? He looks just like the cartoon. I don't know why.
I was gonna say he looks like the comic, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was
Maybe they were comparing him to Raul Julia, and that's why he's not as smooth or good looking as Raul Julia was.
Yeah.
But I think they're going more with the comic book adaptation or the comic adaptation of the show, because in the show is Sean Austin's dad in the TV show.
Yes. Oh wow, that's a wow.
Yeah, he's still alive, right? Sean Austin's dad?
I don't know. I haven't checked out Sean Astin's thing yet. His Instagram to see if he's ever did a memorial to his father. So I don't know.
Okay, that's not what I was asking. I was just asking.
Matt said that he really liked it. So Jenna Ortega. It's so funny because this girl has been like.
She was really good.
Yeah, she's been on my radar for a while.
For what?
Well, because the first time I'd ever seen her, she plays a teenager in Yes Day, which do never let your 7-year-old watch that movie because they will ask for a Yes Day, and I do not want to.
You've been telling me about Yes Day for over a year now.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. My daughter made me watch it several times, and all she wants is a Yes Day, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a real thing or not. But they're kind of rebellious. Yeah.
All the queer ladies went to see Wednesday and Eden. Okay, Eden, whatever her name is.
That's her. Is her? Yeah.
The girl that she lives with, right? The first thing I saw her in was X. Yeah, she was an X.
She also.
Man, she's had a good year. She's in Wednesday and an X.
She was.
X did really good.
Yeah, and she's also in the new Scream, and she's going to be in the follow up to the new Scream as well. Not Neve Campbell, but she'll be back. Her character's returning. She was the main protagonist in Scream 5 or whatever it's called. But yeah, she's been doing.
Scream was horrible.
She's got projects out to wazoo, and yeah, she was really cute.
She's not in Willow.
She's not in Willow though. No,
yet.
Disney has not gotten their hands on her yet. When they do, yeah, that'll be bad. Like she's someone I can see.
Was she the lead character in Scream?
She was.
Wow, good for her.
She's an actress. I see Marvel casting her or something at some point.
Oh man,
she's young, she's adorable, and she has some acting chops. If there's anything you have to watch, like if you don't want to watch the rest of Wednesday, just get to the episode where they have the prom or the dance, because she dances as Wednesday, and it is so fun.
Okay.
So at least watch it.
I'm sure there are clips out there.
Yes, watch the clip. It's hilarious. I think people even try to mimic her on TikTok. Her dance is just funny. Matt said Kitty Pryde. Actually, that's not bad. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jenna Ortega.
Wow, look at you. Okay.
Yeah.
Big fan of Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, I liked Wednesday too. The middle of it was a little slow, but it had scenes that stuck out.
People are loving it. That's crazy. Good for that. So what an odd show. Good for Tim Burton, because holy crap, he needs something good on his
Yeah, he's been having a kind of.
I mean, he don't need money. Well, I don't know. Maybe he does. Is he still with what's her name?
Helena Bonham Carter. I think so. Yeah.
Crazy chick. I loved her in Seven. Yeah. I didn't know if they were still together or not.
I believe they are.
But yeah, I mean, gosh, he's had his career's just been so weird because Tim Burton's a guy that you thought like, oh man, I can't wait until that guy gets money. Can you imagine what kind of movies he's gonna make if he has like money? And then I don't know. I mean, I guess he's older, so he's playing it safe. So he did Dumbo, didn't he? After the Wizard of Oz,
he did like the most recent stuff. He did Dumbo.
He did the first episode of Wednesday. That's what.
Yes.
Or directed the first episode of Wednesday.
Yeah, but I think then from that, then everything else, he was just an executive producer. Mm-hmm. But he's doing a Beetlejuice too. But he did
rumored for a long time.
He did Big Eyes. Well, as far as directing is concerned, he did Big Eyes. He actually didn't direct a lot. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. He did that in 2019.
I actually like that one. That one was underrated.
But he did like Frankenweenie, which I thought was adorable, and The Dark Shadows, Alice in Wonderland. Those are the films that he just,
Alice in Wonderland. That was Sam Raimi was the Wizard of Oz one.
Oh God, you talking about Oz, the one with Oz, Great and Powerful with
Franco.
Oh boy, that movie. That's rough.
There were two of those. There were two Alice in Wonderlands.
Yes.
Woo. Oh, he did 3 or 4 episodes. Well, I may have to watch those then.
Yeah, you should. I think you should keep watching it.
Yeah, I mean, if Melanie wants to, I'll probably be watching it with her because
is that what she wants to watch?
Well, she's the one that started watching it, so we watched the first 2 episodes, and it's like, whoo, it's a little too too YA for me, but I'll keep watching if that's what she likes. I can see why it's got a fan following though. Like things like Riverdale were always something I wanted to get into.
Yeah, but I don't think I feel like I wouldn't like.
I got into Buffy. I was huge into Buffy.
Yeah, but how old were you when you started getting huge into Buffy? 20s, right?
20s, but I mean, and Buffy still holds up though. Buffy and Angel still hold up to this day. Oz was an Army of Darkness remake for kids.
It was something.
Not how you would describe it, Matt. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I mean, Wednesday's another one that, if you're not Oh. Did he say
read it, Amanda? What's that say?
At Omar and at Amanda, thoughts on Gunn's broadcasting today on Twitter that he and Safran are going to redirect the DCU to build up a Kingdom Come adaptation in the coming years. Did he actually say that, or did he just post a picture of Kingdom Come and says,
he better not be teasing me like that. You can't post a picture of Kingdom Come with the nerds.
Because that's where I was like, okay, I saw where he just had making plans, and I'm like, okay, but use the Kingdom Come picture. And now I was like, 10 minutes later, we got this cover. It's going to have a whole story about how James Gunn's leaked that they're going to be doing Kingdom Come, even though he just had a picture. So I think, and then Omar made a joke. I'm going to read this to you because it's a very funny pun about that picture. And he said, what does that mean? Or is it he just Googled Justice League making plans? And then I said, what if it's a pun? And then he said, I'd be really mad if you use that picture for a pun.
Because you can't use that picture for a pun. I'll tell you what, though, it reminds me, I don't know if you remember this, but it reminds me when everyone was sharing James Gunn is going to direct Berserk, because he shared the symbol that looked a lot like the brand of the sacrifice, but it was the symbol to that movie we went to see. What was that one?
The one with the kid?
The kid with superpowers. It was like a scary movie.
Oh, yeah. God, that was okay.
What the hell was that? But anyway, that's all he was doing, and people blew up all over the internet, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. People were messaging me because they know I was a big Berserk fan. They're like, dude, are you going to – is this crazy James Gunn's directing Berserk? And I'm like, that really doesn't look like the brand of the sacrifice. But and then their response was, but this is the movie version of the Brightburn. Thank you.
Brightburn. Thank you, Matt. I don't know what it means. I think Omar's explanation of him just Googling Justice League making
it's like, oh, this is a pretty picture. I'll just put that.
That's a cool picture. Let's put that in there.
And us nerds are like, oh my god, Kingdom Come is coming. Everything's
coming. It could very well be a tease that James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to be doing. We're going to lead up into Kingdom Come. I don't know. or he's
God,
trolling the hell out of all DC fans, which sounds to be like a very good possibility.
If you're gonna reassemble, I guess I can't use that word to talk about a DC franchise. If you're gonna start over again, right? If you're gonna reboot,
yes,
then you might as well have some fun. Tease a bunch of things that aren't gonna amount to anything.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. Tease me a little bit, James Gunn. I appreciate that.
Until it's an actual poster or a news article, I don't believe anything.
You know what? I don't believe anything anymore.
That's why Omar still doesn't believe that.
Aquaman 2 and Flash for 2 years.
Apparently there's a new Flash logo.
That's really what we're. That's
the biggest news that there's a new Flash logo for the movie. It was officially revealed. What does it look like? Here, I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna show it.
I know a lot of the projects are put on hold right now, so it's gonna be interesting where we see the news going, what the next DC lineup is gonna be. So far, Peacemaker 2 is safe because James Gunn.
Yes.
Blue Beetle still safe so far, right?
Yeah. Zolo is still participating in that. There it is. There's the new Flash logo.
Oh yeah, cool. June what? 2023.
Or June 2023. Yes.
Maybe. They really just should have put a question mark down there. But Green Lantern Corps, that's been scrapped for now.
That's on pause. Yeah. As far as we know, there's no dates on that. And I believe we're still supposed to be getting into the Doom Patrol, right? That's dropping. So that's happening as well.
You got to use Brandon Fraser while he's still TV.
He's hot now.
Otherwise, he's going to get up there. He's going to be too hot for you to.
Once the whale comes out and he gets nominated for an Oscar, then you're done. Yeah, you're done. You're going to have to pay Robert Downey Jr. money, and you don't want to do that.
Not for a TV show, and it's a good show too. I like Doom Patrol. Yeah. I don't want it to go away. It's the only show that survived that whole thing.
Not Titans.
I don't want to talk about that show.
I've still watched it with Corey. Binged it, and I actually okay. I can. Wow, the girl who played Raven grew up was somewhere. Well, remember she was like a teenager.
No, I honestly that show left such a
she
weird.
Grew up. She didn't look anything like she did when in the
grew
first
up.
season. The girl played Raven.
Yeah, I know. What do you mean grew up? Got taller?
Just taller, just filled out. As a woman. Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was a woman.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Anyways,
I don't. That's why I asked.
It has some moments. Abs makes an appearance. Barbara's in it. I didn't realize she was going to be in it. And then, of course, Superboy and Crypto, I think, are also in it. Yeah, they're also in it. I was like, wow, I'm glad you're watching this because I never thought it would have been on.
That first season was so god awful. I never finished the season. I never finished season 1. It was that bad. I couldn't.
How did you not finish it? We reviewed it.
No, we never finished reviewing season 1. We did the first 5 episodes, and then that was it. I mean, we can go back and do a retro view of Titans if you want to put me through hell.
Gotcha.
Did you hear anything I said, or was it cutting out?
No, I don't know. My Wi-Fi looks fine. It was.
But I like that you agreed with me. You were like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
Yeah, sure, it's good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
I thought we had reviewed the whole thing, but I guess we didn't. I really thought we did.
No, we did the first 5 episodes, and then that was it.
We just said nope because we're not going to watch the rest.
Well, yeah, I'm like, I can't. Hear me out. Jenna Ortega is Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern. I'm with you. Yeah, somebody better grab her before Disney grabs her, and then that's it. That's all she wrote. She's going to write a multi-million-dollar contract.
Star Wars, Marvel, the next Willow franchise.
Can somebody please bring back my Dark Crystal? That would be nice. Oh man!
4.
And I saw that they're doing Never Ending Story.
Yeah.
And the whole time it's like you get to be a certain age, right? And I think for me, my very first time that this happened was there are different phases of reboots for people. I think.
Yes.
Phase the big phase is the first time it happens to your franchise that you hold so near and dear to your heart, and they go to reboot it, and you look at the pictures and you're like, I hate that before I even see it. Like that to me was a Bayformers for me. Like when I saw the Bayformers pictures, I'm like, I don't give a crap about this. This thing sucks already. And I went to the theater to go see it, and yeah, it did suck. And then like I think the next phase is like, yeah, okay, whatever. Screw it. Sure. Go have your reboot. And that's the way I felt about all these Disney adaptations of their animated movies. Like I haven't seen a single one. Just not for me. I'm not gonna shit on them though, like because I'm sure a lot of people really enjoy them. And yeah, I think that's the phase I'm at now. I'm like, whatever. Like, as long as it brings somebody happiness, and I guess somebody.
That's kind of how I felt about Lord of the Rings at first. When I remember seeing like some of the first stills of Rings of Power, and I'm like, that's not Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. I also kind of felt that way about The Hobbit.
It was Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
Whatever, but I also kind of felt that way about the Hobbit too. And I was like,
Hobbit. It was Peter Jackson.
I know, and it was Peter Jackson, but it was not The Hobbit. It was not Tolkien's Hobbit. That was something else entirely.
I'm still hoping Universal will unknown. You wanted Mummy 4. Could Brendan Fraser? I mean, that's what wrecked him, right? Like, was doing all those stunts and physical things in the Mummy franchise.
He could. He talked about it. I mean, he's been talking. I mean, obviously, he's been doing a lot of interviews, but he's mentioned, maybe revisiting that franchise and how they still hold up. Well, at least the first one. The first two were great. The rest of them.
At least he was in the third one. But what's her name wasn't?
No, Rachel Weisz. No,
Rachel Weisz. My goodness, she's still.
Well, she had gone. That by that point, she had become, Academy Award nominated Rachel Weisz, married to Darren Aronofsky and all that stuff, and right? Was she married to Darren Aronofsky?
You're asking me. Let me text somebody.
No, right.
Well, I'm texting you. I'm texting you. Yeah, right. Now she's doing Black Widow.
Yeah, exactly. That one.
As long as they can keep getting.
She's married to Daniel Craig. I don't know what I was thinking.
Raised by Wolves. I need to go back and watch that. Willy Wonka was my I hate it reaction. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. You're talking about the Tim Burton.
Oh, don't. That is
Johnny Depp one, right?
A trip you don't want to go down.
The classic Gene Wilder one is the one.
They're doing another Wonka with Timothée Chalamet.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm at the point that I'm like, whatever. It doesn't devalue my love of the original anymore. And it whatever. Sure. Have you gotten? I haven't gotten it yet. Actually, David and I had a talk about that today. Apparently, my copy got lost along with my copy of Knights of Pendragon and my copy of She-Hulk. So he said that those should be coming my way. Omar, quick, rank all the Daredevil runs. What? That's so hard, man.
Quick, do it fast.
We gotta wrap it up. Wrap it up. Okay. Top for me will always be Frank Miller's run. It didn't get better than that. I mean, some have come close. So Frank Miller, Ed Brubaker, Mark Waid, Ann Nocenti, Chip Zdarsky, and I'm serious. Chip Zdarsky has been killing it. And I hope it sticks to its landing, though, because, his Daredevil is like, it's a Daredevil that has aged. He's not as young as he used to be. And he realizes, well, that never stops, no matter how old you get now. But it makes you realize, you're like your body's giving out on you. It doesn't cooperate with you as much as it used to. It's a really good take on Daredevil, and it takes him back to his roots. And there's a lot of really, really cool twists and turns on that one. Also, Brubaker. I really like Charles Soule's run, Dennis O'Neill's run. Bendis' run was pretty solid. Andy Diggle should be. Bendis is number one. I knew, Warren, you're still here. You came back just to say that.
Yeah, he's gone.
And then now you're leaving again. But that's kind of gives you an idea of my hierarchy of what I like about Daredevil. Dude, Kevin Smith's Amanda read that one too. The Guardian Devil. That one's solid.
Guardian Devil, that was good. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Miller, Brubaker, Bendis, Nocenti, Waid, Chip, Zdarsky, and Soule. Yeah, Chip's getting up there, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but Dan Slott said the menu was a A24 version of Willy Wonka. The menu.
Yes, that Ralph Fiennes is in it, and I want to say Anna Anya Taylor-Joy's in it, and it's supposed
I like
to be
her.
it's very A24, but it's supposed to be a very good film.
I did see Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, you finally watched it? Was it just as...
Did you watch it?
No.
How have you not watched it? You've been raving about this shit movie.
I'm not raving about it. I'm just so intrigued by the off-screen drama, and I think I'm going to leave it at that.
There were some hot scenes.
That was the whole issue to start with.
Oh my gosh, when she's being pushed up on the glass. Never mind. I'll keep that behind the scenes.
Omar really likes Florence Pugh, so that probably was your he's gonna come back to that again at night.
She's a great actor. I'm sure there's a meme somewhere. What was the worst New 52 book? Teen Titans, Nightwing, Suicide Squad, or something else? Something else. Deathstroke was pretty awful. Deathstroke was pretty god awful when it started out. You didn't like Frankenstein? I thought Frankenstein was fun. Oh, you didn't write that in there. Whoops. Sorry about that.
Maybe you did like Frankenstein.
Florence Pugh she's great in everything. I need to see the one that she did for Netflix where she goes back to her little small town. Haven't seen that one yet.
She also has one. Oh no, that's not her. That's another actress.
How dare you confuse that woman with someone?
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
It was
an Apple TV Plus thing. Never mind. Yeah. What does she have that she's a small town girl go back to her hometown? What movie is this?
No. It's like something I was editing and I saw a preview of it.
Is it a Christmas movie?
No, it wasn't a Christmas movie. It was like a drama.
Well, if you want a Christmas movie on Netflix, you should watch The Noel Diary.
No, I'm okay.
It has the Green Arrow from Smallville or the guy from This Is Us.
Some Green Arrow from Smallville. The guy from This Is Us. Oh, the actor.
Yeah, that actor, yeah.
Only thing Omar likes that I like is the Falco's Fantastic Four. You like anime? I like anime too, Warren. Do you like UK basketball? Because I don't. I don't know why I even asked. Catwoman, New 52. Who was John Winnick? It was okay. It wasn't as bad as other. The Wonder. Thank you. That's it. The Wonder. That's the one that I need to watch. Yeah. Thank you guys. Right? It's the way I described it. She goes back to like her hometown. That's all I remember. They had me at Florence Pugh, so that's all I needed to see.
Doesn't look like that. When I'm looking it up on Netflix,
don't judge me by the way I describe movies.
Yeah.
What's next? What's the plan for next week, Amanda? What do you want to do? You want to do was it really that bad? You want to do a holiday movie?
Oh, that's a good question. What if we did was it really that bad of a holiday movie?
All right, was it really that bad? What's your favorite holiday movie?
Oh, just Elf? Because you don't like Elf, even though I do.
I don't like it.
Let's see. What about? I'd love to do the Star Wars holiday special.
It's pretty bad, but I mean, if you've never seen it, is it on Disney now?
No, I don't think so.
Really? They haven't remastered it, huh?
You know who's gonna tell me? Rotten Tomatoes.
Die Hard 2. Was it really that bad? It wasn't as good as the first one. I can tell you that. First one's a classic.
Apparently, the worst rated Christmas movie is Home Alone 3. Came out in 1990.
Dude, that's rated worse than Home Alone 4 with the one. Oh wait, no, Home Alone 3 is the one without Macaulay Culkin.
Without Macaulay Culkin, yeah. There was a fourth one.
Oh wow.
But that's not really something we need to watch.
We can also take a poll. We'll let our viewers decide.
Yes, we could. Let's do that.
We'll think of ideas, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Was Superman, Wonder Woman good, or at least better than the Morrison action depending aspects of Morrison's action comics were okay. I wasn't the biggest fan. That's probably one of my least favorite things that they wrote. Only the animated part of Star Wars holiday specials on Disney. So not even the Ewok stuff where he goes and wonder why that is. Oh, because first appearance of Boba Fett. No on the basketball, so I can agree with you on that. Thanks, man. I'm glad, Warren. See, we're bonding already. Anything else?
Nope, that's all I've got for tonight. But yes, we will be back next week. Omar and I will get a poll up on the community part of the channel, so you guys can vote on what we should do for Was It Really That Bad. We'll do it sooner rather than later, so we have time to watch it before next Wednesday.
Yeah, I'd like time to watch it. That would be nice. So that's it, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us. For Willow, let us know what you think of this brand new Disney Plus series. There we go.
Willow! no. Yeah, let us know what you think about the first 2 episodes. And are you going to keep watching? Do you want us to do a season end review? Oh my God, was that Nightwing?
Yeah, we were talking about hot Nightwing covers, and Matt found that one. That one's pretty hot.
Nightwing on my walls.
What were we talking about? Nope, not that. What is all these things here? Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, so we will be back next week with a Was It Really That Bad? So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at NearMintCon. Remember to check us out on Spread Shop for some great near mint condition merchandise. And also check us out on Patreon for $1 a month or more. You can help support our channel and all that we do. And remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Good journey, everyone. And we will see you all next week for another Reelz Talk.
I'll see you tomorrow.
And
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. What's up, Josh? How are you doing, buddy? Right in the chat room.